βοηθήσουμε από την ασφάλεια του Υπουργείου.
Ladies and gentlemen, I need everybody to please find your way to your tables, please. Please find your seats quickly as soon as possible. Our distinguished guests will not be brought into the room until everybody is seated. Please find your way to your seats. Everybody must be seated as quickly as possible. Okay. Okay, δεν νομίζω θα το χρειαστούμε, αλλά ευχαριστώ. Ευχαριστώ. Yeah. Ευχαριστώ πολύ. Τον ξέρω, αλλά είναι απάνω και προσπαθεί να τους στείλει όλους κάτω. Δεν θα τους φέρουν τους επίσημους μέχρι να είναι όλοι στα καθίσματα. Everybody, please find your seats as quickly as possible. Those standing, please find your seats. Those standing, please find your seats. Okay. Ναι, μάλιστα. Everybody, please find your seats as quickly as possible. We need everybody to be seated. Everybody, please find your seats. Those standing, please find your seats. Τι να σου πω. Δεν ξέρω που κάθεται, δεν έχω το σχέδιο τώρα.
Πάλι κάποιος μπορεί να το βοηθήσει, γιατί περιμένει για να δει να κρατήσει ο πρόεδρος της Βουλής. Είναι το νούμερο 3.
Ναι, το ξέρω. Oh my God. Everybody, please find your seats. Please find your seats. Find your table numbers and be seated as quickly as possible. No? Can you pick up the volume? Ladies and gentlemen, everybody please find your seats. Find your table numbers as quickly as possible. We need to start the program. Our honored guests will not be brought into the room until everybody is seated. President of the police, right there, talking to federal leaders. Ladies and gentlemen, please find your seats. Please find your seats as quickly as possible. We need to start the program. Please grab a seat. Please sit down. Ladies and gentlemen, please sit down, find a seat. Just take a seat right now.
Okay, everybody, I need you to fill in a seat right now because the Prime Minister's on his way. The tables up front, in the front row where I am, are off limits. If you find an open seat on the periphery, please fill it in.
Can you... Everybody just take a seat. Everybody, please take a seat as quickly as possible. Everybody, please take a seat. Just sit down. Find a seat and sit down at this point. Everybody, please find a seat. Uncle Philip. That's what I thought. Everybody, please take a seat. And we're kindly requesting that even when seating, have your mask on for the time being. Everybody put your masks on. Yeah. Where is he?
Ο πρέσβης έρχεται της Αμερικής.
Θα καθίσει εδώ.
Ναι, και μετά θα έρθει σε λίγο ο Πρωθυπουργός θα έρθει σε πάνω.
Ο πρόεδρος του Κύπρου.
Ο πρόεδρος θα τον κατεβάσει αφού έρθει και ο Πρωθυπουργός.
Okay. Everybody be seated, please. Find a seat as quickly as possible. Everybody put your masks on. Anybody who's standing, please find a seat immediately. Everybody, please be seated. Find a seat. And keep your masks on. The president of Cyprus is here, and the Everybody, please be seated. Find a seat, be seated as quickly as possible. And keep your masks on. Everybody must have a mask on. Please, as quickly as possible, be seated. Everybody sit down. Please clear the middle aisle here as we welcome the President of Cyprus, His Excellency, Mr. Nikos Anastasiadis. Welcome, Mr. President. Everybody, please be seated. Keep your masks on as we await the arrival of His Excellency Prime Minister Mitsotakis. Please be seated and keep your masks on. Yeah, bring him up here so he doesn't have a cow. Okay. I'm the MC, so when I welcome everybody, is that the Prime Minister? Ladies and gentlemen, please rise as we welcome the arrival of His Excellency, Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis of Greece. Also, the arrival of our Supreme President, George Kariatis. Please be seated. Keep your masks on. Everybody, please be seated. Everybody, please be seated. Everybody, please be seated. May I have your attention, please? Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen,
Just wait a minute until we bring the microphone.
you got it. Did they get it yet? Are they bringing it?
Yeah, I told them.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're ready to begin the program. On behalf of Supreme President George Kariatis, the AHEPA officers, family, we welcome you all here tonight to this historic event, the 99th anniversary of the Order of AHEPA, but more importantly, the 200 years bicentennial of Greece's independence. AHEPA thought it was, and rightfully so, very important to bring their annual international convention to Athens this year to celebrate this milestone. In fact, it was our Supreme President's idea. Congratulations, George. We will begin the program with the traditional singing of the national anthems, and I welcome soprano Eleni Kalenos to address us.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light
So proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, where so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Se γνωρίζω από την κόψη του σπαθιού την τρομερή, σε γνωρίζω από την όψη που με διαμετράει τη γη. Απ' τα κόκαλα βγαλμένη των Ελλήνων τα ιερά, και σαν πρώτα αντριωμένη χέρο χέρε ελευθεριά, και σαν πρώτα αντριωμένη χέρο χέρε ελευθεριά, και σαν πρώτα αντριωμένη χέρο χέρε ελευθεριά.
Thank you, Eleni. Please be seated. Before we commence our program and bring up our very distinguished speakers, I need to note and apologize to many of you, especially those that are up on the next floor. Due to COVID restrictions and other issues that were thrust upon us this week, we had to make very difficult decisions and adjustments in order to ensure the safety of all our guests, and specifically our two honorees. So we thank them for coming, and we thank all of you for your patience. And I hope everybody enjoys this evening, as it truly is historic. Our first speaker will be the highest elected office for the Daughters of the Penelope, a very important part of the AHEPA family, led by their Grand President, Vasilia Kashmarsky. Madam President, please join us.
Thank you, Brother Nick, for that introduction. Supreme President Horiatis, honorees, President Anastasiadis, Prime Minister Mitsotakis, distinguished guests, AHEPA family, and friends. Kalispera σας. Είναι μεγάλη μου τιμή να είμαι με όλους σας σήμερα το βράδυ, εδώ στην Ελλάδα. Την γενέτερα του πατέρα μου και την χώρα που καλωσόρισαν τη μητέρα μου και τους γονείς όταν διώχθηκαν από τη Μικρασία το 1922. It is my honor to be here in Greece, the birthplace of my father, and the country who took in my mother's family when they were ousted from Asia Minor in 1922. What an idyllic setting for our Supreme Convention. There is breathtaking beauty all around. I was the first in my family to visit Greece in 1976 and had to spend time with the families of the 150 youth that my father and his brothers brought to Canada. I remember walking down the main street of the village with my uncle as he's telling all the shop owners, "Tu sarado I kori." How lucky was I. Our connection to both Greece and Cyprus was further cemented through all the students who came to the university in my hometown to further their education so they could return to their country of birth and use their skills for the betterment of their people. While I was in the process of collecting my thoughts, I was telling a non-Greek friend that I had several speeches to write and that I wanted to interject a bit of Greek. He too had been to Greece and asked if he could help. He asked if I would need the word portokalada. I says, well, maybe in the afternoon when I would stop for a cool drink. He asked if I needed the word moussaka, possibly at dinner. He asked if I could use the phrase "Ευχαριστώ πολύ," and I said definitely yes. So I begin this evening by saying Ευχαριστώ. Thank you for the electing me to serve as the first Grant President from Canada. I am honored and humbled. Thank you for believing in my theme, Together we are stronger, together we thrive. Ενωμένες είμαστε δυνατές, ενωμένες πάμε μπροστά. But more importantly, thank you for believing in the mission of our founder, Alexandra Apostolidis Sonnenfeld. Her mission, after 90 years, still stands true. Education and knowledge is power. It allows us to see the beauty of our dreams, η ομορφιά της ονειρίας μας. Philanthropy, the desire to promote the welfare of others, especially expressed by the generous donations of money and good causes during this time. We believe in active participation in the public life of a community in an informed, committed, and constructive manner, our civic responsibility. Personal and family excellence is evident throughout the many individuals who have excelled in their professional and personal lives. And last but not least, Hellenism, our roots, our character, our beliefs, and our customs. Is it not the reason we are here in Greece? Greece celebrated the 200th anniversary of the start of the War of Independence earlier this year. During the war, the role of women has often been minimized. But women activists were involved in procuring and smuggling arms, visiting prisons, bringing messages, and the dangerous work of espionage, serving as the eyes and ears of the conflict. Women also provided safe houses, distributed the Dependence Fund and monies from the White Cross. I could go on naming women within the Society of Friends, but I would like to speak to you about women leaders during our 90 years as an organization. Strong women, independent women, committed women, exceptional women. Josephine Iglesias, who spearheaded the Greek war relief, hoping to alleviate the suffering in the homeland. Helen Karayanis strived to open a Daughters of Penelope chapter wherever there was an AHEPA chapter. She was very, very lucky in that pursuit. Zoe Cavaleris was the first archondisa of the Ecumenical Patriarchate. She also started the Seal Drive to raise money for St. Basil's. And today, her name is synonymous with our outstanding athletic award. More recently, Betty Athanasakos and Joanna Maracas, who initiated the salute to women to recognize outstanding women outside of the Daughters of Penelope. Or Sonia Stephanatos, whose idea of setting up the Daughters of Penelope Foundation came to fruition in 1983. Greece has utilized the strength of women in many instances. Women who are role models for the next generation. President Sakeleropoulos, who is the first woman to serve as president of Greece. Prime Minister Mitsotakis, you were quoted as saying, the election results offer a window to the future. Indeed, they do. Others, such as Yana Angelopoulou Daskalaki, who led the team to bring the Olympics to Greece and served as president of the Athens Olympic Committee. And Dora Bakoyannis, who served as mayor of Athens for 4 years. Let us not forget the Greek ambassador to the United States, Alexandra Papadopoulou. Success isn't just about what you accomplish in life. It is about what you inspire others to do. I hope you continue to inspire others, and we hope to continue to inspire women to carry on the mission of the Daughters of Penelope. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Celia. Can you tell them to put the mic up? Can you put the mic up, please? Thank you, Celia, for those inspiring words. Because our honorees are limited in time, we are reversing the schedule, and we will make the award presentations at this time. So our first 2021 Socrates Award recipient will be introduced by Mr. Philip Christopher, also a recipient of the highest honor that AHEPA bestows, which is the very same AHEPA Socrates Award, and he was awarded this award in 2019 with Mr. Nikos Anastasiadis present at the Presidential Palace. He's also a champion of Cyprus for 47 years, a personal inspiration to him and myself, as we were both born in Gerinia, and he is currently the president of SECA. Please welcome Mr. Philip Christopher.
Thank you, Nico. A round of applause for your chairman, Nikos Karagostas. He has been in the forefront for many years. Mr. Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis, Mr. President Nikos Anastasiadis. I didn't forget your name. I was just testing you. Mr. Ambassador of the United States, thank you so much. Mr. Fodiou and Mr. Vlasis, thank you for inspiring the overseas Greeks and Hellenism and Cypriots. Mr. Nikos Christodoulidis, our foreign minister, and Mr. Antonis Diamandaris, a good friend from New York, thank you so much. And the President of the Parliament, Mr. Dasoulas, thank you so much for being here today. First of all, give yourselves a round of applause. 1,000 people from AHEPA from all over the world for 99 years. They have been working hard. Regardless of COVID, regardless of all the problems that we have faced, AHEPA is here strong for Hellenism, for Greece and Cyprus. A round of applause for AHEPA. Ladies and gentlemen, let me begin by thanking, first of all, your Supreme President, Mr. George Choriadis. Let me thank the Board of Directors and Basil Mosaidis for doing such a great job for this convention. I want to thank the President of the Daughters of Penelope for naming so many women that are here tonight. And thank you all. The women are very powerful, and we obey. Ladies and gentlemen, AHEPA is a 99-year-old organization. Out of those 99 years, for 47 years, they have been fighting for freedom for Cyprus. 60 presidents over the 90 years. And I would be remiss if I don't name some of the past presidents that are here, including George Lucas, Mr. Hallister, Mr. Zachariadis, Mr. Grossomanidis. Take a round of applause, all the past presidents of the AHEPA family. You have done an exceptional job. Mr. Prime Minister, Mr. President, I want you to know that in the United States of America, all Hellenes are united. We are united protecting Hellenism, protecting Greece, and fighting for the struggle of the Cypriot people for freedom and justice. AHEPA is in the forefront of every fight, and we fight together as the organization of SECA that I had, and I want to thank each and every member of AHEPA, every chapter that has been holding fundraisers. A lot of people don't understand behind the scenes. They hear Senator Menendez, they hear Congressman Bilirakis, they hear. It is us who are working hard behind the scenes to raise the funds for every congressman and every senator across the United States. And I thank each and every one of you for working hard through the political process. If it's one thing that happened as a result of 1974, is that our community came to collective action, and we understand the political process and what has to happen. My job here today is not to give a long speech, but I want you to remember those people that died with the dream of seeing a free Cyprus. I remind you tonight of people like Andy Athens, Eugene Rosidis, Nikos Mouliaris. I remind you of John Economy, Jack Georgalis, and so many others who died with the promise of seeing a free Cyprus. Tonight, for me, I remind all of you of the promise that I made to my parents, to keep fighting for freedom and justice for Cyprus. So, my friends, tonight my job is to introduce the President of the Republic of Cyprus. And I want to quote some of the words of John F. Kennedy in the book of Profiles in Courage. During this difficult time, you need a president that does not waver in times of pressure. You need a leader that does not cave down to pressures from internal and external. John F. Kennedy knew that the Profiles of Courage belongs to a leader and a president who's able to stand up, and say, perhaps freedom for Cyprus, it may not be easy, 47 years have passed, but we will stand strong until Cyprus is free. So, my friends, it is my honor today to introduce to you the President of the Republic of Cyprus, who is going to keep his promises the way President Biden is going to keep his promises to us. He made a lot of promises over the years. President Anastasiadis, I guarantee you, he's not going to waver. He's not going to compromise democratic principles and ideals for the sake of expediency. We will keep fighting for the Hellenic values and ideals. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome the President. Please rise and welcome the President of the Republic of Cyprus, Mr. Nikos Anastasiadis.
Please be seated. Thank you. Your Excellency, Prime Minister of the Hellenic Republic, my dear friend, Kyriakos Mitsotakis, Mr. President of the Hellenic Parliament, Excellencies, Your Excellency, Ambassador of the United States, dear AHEPA Supreme President, Mr. George Horiatis, honorable guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is a distinct privilege, first and above all, thank you very much, Philip, for your very kind words. It is a distinct privilege to address this year's AHEPA Supreme Convention and our distinguished diaspora members that have joined us from abroad. I am also deeply touched and moved to be receiving by the largest and oldest Hellenic heritage organization its highest award, the AHEPA Socrates Award. I consider this honor, which I humbly accept with sincere gratitude, as an honor to the country and the people that I represent, and as the genuine appreciation to the long-standing struggles of Cypriot Hellenism for freedom, justice, and independence. Your decision on bestowing this award dictates to continue with the same determination and persistence in fulfilling the duties and obligations I have assumed towards the people of Cyprus, with the most important being none other than the reunification of our divided island. Distinguished guests, today's honor is of the greatest value if one considers that is awarded by an association which has been successfully promoting and defending the ideals, values, and principles of Hellenism for almost a century. Since its establishment in 1922, AHEPA grew over the years from strength to strength and has not only tirelessly preserved the Greek language, identity, and culture heritage in the United States of America, but has managed to develop a truly inspiring, charitable, and humanitarian work, which has led a contribution of over $1 billion to worthy causes. At the same time, AHEPA has assumed a key role in advancing the strategic partnership between Greece and Cyprus with the United States, a partnership which carries profound geopolitical meaning, and I'm glad to attest, has been significantly enriched in recent years through a number of important initiatives and tangible deliverables. Deliverables, such as, amongst many others, the Eastern Mediterranean Partnership Act, which establishes the institutional framework for energy and security cooperation between the United States and the trilateral synergy of Cyprus, Greece, and Israel. And it is not a coincidence that I have referred to the trilateral mechanism of cooperation, since I am aware that you will host tomorrow a Cyprus-Greece-Israel conference with the aim of discussing current and evolving developments and challenges in our volatile region. These, dear friends, are initiatives which we warmly welcome and support, and once more highlight AHEPA's contribution to promoting the shared interests and national causes of Hellenism in respect of international law and the principle of good neighborly relations. And taking this opportunity, I would like to highlight the significance we attach to the United States support and your own contribution to this end in further advancing this synergy, particularly through the 3+1 platform we have established with the states, as well as the United States presence as an observer in the EastMed Gas Forum. Distinguished friends, AHEPA's 99th Supreme Convention coincides with the celebrations of the 200th anniversary of the Greek War of Independence. Fighting with courage and heroism, with the vision of freeing Greece from the slavery, oppression, and tyranny they were suffering by the Ottoman rule, the Greeks succeeded in establishing their own independent and democratic state. As we commemorate this historic milestone, Cyprus, being under Turkish military occupation for 47 consecutive years, recalls the revolution's ideas of freedom in our tireless efforts to reach a lasting and viable settlement. A settlement that will establish a truly independent and sovereign state, as our Greek brothers envisioned 200 years ago, without any external interference and third country guarantees. In this respect, please allow me to convey my government's sincere appreciation to AHEPA for its steadfast support and significant contribution all those years in promoting to the United States of America this common objective of both Cyprus and Greece, a support which is also extended to defending the Republic of Cyprus' sovereignty and the exercise of its sovereign rights, free from unilateral and illegal actions by Turkey at sea and on the ground. You are, of course, distinguished friends, aware of the recent provocative announcements made by the Turkish president and the Turkish Cypriot leader in relation to changing the status of part of the fenced city of Famagusta. An announcement which, aside the obvious fact that it is in blatant violation of the relevant Security Council resolutions, took place despite the repeated calls by the international community, including the United States of America, to reverse this course of action and avoid raising new tensions. Dear friends, our power to defend our national interest and the values of Hellenism lies on our unity. That is why, in close consultation with the Greek government, we succeeded in achieving a strong condemnation by the UN Security Council and the EU against Turkey's actions calling for their reversal. And taking this opportunity, I do call on AHEPA to once more exert its influence and leverage to the United States government in order to once more promote our just cause, so as finally to be impressed upon Turkey that there cannot be any discounts as regards the implementation of international law. That Turkish policy of intimidation cannot continue, and we simply cannot remain idle to developments that torpedo our efforts to resume the negotiating process with real prospects of success. That this step-by-step approach, based on testing the limits and reactions of the international community vis-à-vis Famagusta, should not be tolerated. Κυρίες και κύριοι, φίλε κύριε Χωριάτη, εκ μέρους της κυβέρνησης αλλά και του λαού της Κύπρου, θα ήθελα για ακόμη μια φορά να μεταφέρω την ειλικρινή μας ευγνωμοσύνη για τις άοκνες προσπάθειες σας τα τελευταία 47 χρόνια και όχι μόνο στην προώθηση των εθνικών συμφερόντων της Κύπρου και 99 χρόνια ολόκληρου του ελληνισμού. Θα ήθελα να σας διαβεβαιώσω πως η Κυπριακή Δημοκρατία θα συνεχίσει να σας στηρίζει με όλους τους δυνατούς τρόπους, ώστε να προωθήσετε περαιτέρω τους κοινούς και ευγενείς μας στόχους. Ολοκληρώνοντας και εκφράζοντας για ακόμη μια φορά τις ευχαριστίες μου προς την AHEPA για την σημερινή τιμή, αλλά και την υπέροχη εκδήλωση, επιτρέψτε μου να μοιραστώ δύο αποφθέγματα από τον Σωκράτη, μια από τις σημαντικότερες προσωπικότητες του ελληνικού και παγκόσμιου πνεύματος και πολιτισμού. Αποφθέγματα, κυρίες και κύριοι, που πιστεύω ενσωματώνουν και συνοψίζουν την ουσία και φιλοσοφία της AHEPA. Δεν είμαι Αθηναίος, ούτε Έλληνας. Είμαι πολίτης του κόσμου. και ένα δεύτερο από τη μητέρα και τον πατέρα και όλους τους άλλους προγόνους, η πατρίδα είναι πράγμα πολυτιμότερο και σεβαστότερο και αγιότερο και ανώτερο και κατά τη γνώμη των θεών και κατά τη γνώμη των ανθρώπων που έχουν φρόνηση. Ο Θεός να ευλογεί τον ελληνισμό. Σας ευχαριστώ θερμά.
Thank you, Mr. President. To introduce our next award recipient with another 2021 Socrates Award, I would like to welcome to the podium Mr. Andonis Diamandouros, a 40-year publisher of the Ethnikos Kyrix and the National Herald, a global information periodical, a former Deputy Foreign Minister for Greeks Abroad, a recipient of the 2017 AHEPA Demosthenes Award, and a friend to all Hellenes abroad. Please welcome Mr. Andonis Diamandouros.
Καλησπέρα σας. Αδέρφια της ΑΧΕΠΑ. Αδέρφια. Σας συγχαίρω που επιλέξατε την Αθήνα για αυτό το καταπληκτικό συνέδριο. Οι γονείς σας, οι πρόγονείς σας και οι προπρόγονείς σας θα ήταν περήφανοι για σας. Σας εύχομαι να περάσετε καλά εδώ στα ιερά χώματα της μητέρας πατρίδας. Mr. President of the Hellenic Republic, Mr. President of the Greek Parliament, κύριε Πρέσβη, Mr. Ambassador, brothers and sisters of AHEPA, ladies and gentlemen, I have the great privilege and distinct honor to introduce to you the Prime Minister of the Hellenic Republic, Kyriakos Konstantinos Mitsotakis. Kyriakos needs no introduction to you because he spent so many years among us, earning a number of degrees with distinction at two prestigious American universities. It was at one of these centers of learning, near the Charles River in Cambridge, Massachusetts, that he waged his first successful campaign for the heart and the hand of his lovely and brilliant wife, Mareva. Kyriakos became Prime Minister almost exactly 2 years ago. When I think of what he has accomplished in those 2 short years, I'm reminded of a story Plutarch tells about the Athenian statesman Themistocles. One day, as Themistocles was walking in the agora with friends, they encountered a skillful flute player. And one of his friends challenged Themistocles to play the instrument. And Mr. Cleese responded, I cannot fiddle, but I can make a great state from a little city. I have known Kyriakos for many years. And while I have marveled at his many, many accomplishments, I can tell you that playing a musical instrument is not one of them. But, like Themistocles, he can take a beleaguered, disheartened, and disparaged state and turn it into a vibrant, hopeful, and a respected nation. A country all Greek Americans, and indeed all Greeks, everywhere, can proudly call Patrida. Ladies and gentlemen, the Prime Minister of our beloved Greece, Kyriakos Mitsotakis.
Ευχαριστώ πολύ. Ευχαριστώ, Αντώνη, για τα όμορφα σου λόγια. Κύριε Πρόεδρε της Κυπριακής Δημοκρατίας, κύριε Πρόεδρε της Βουλής, κύριε Πρέσβη, κυρία Πρέσβης, φίλες και φίλοι, καλώς ήρθατε στην Ελλάδα, καλώς ήρθατε στην Αθήνα. Χαιρόμαστε πάρα πολύ που μπορούμε να σας υποδεχθούμε εδώ. Ladies and gentlemen, I had prepared some remarks, but allow me to speak from the heart today, profoundly inspired